Oh, there we are. Okay, we're live. Yay. Okay. So, welcome everyone to the expert interview series. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties, so thanks for watching either the replay or watching live. And if you are watching live or watching the replay, put in the comments below what you want to know about online PR, because we have my guest, Carolyn Cole, who is an online PR specialist. She's a podcaster. I'm going to tell you all about her in a minute, but I just want to introduce her.
Hello.
Carolyn, welcome.
Yes. Thank you so much. This is really nice, Lisa. Thanks for having me. We're going to race through this one because we have things that happen, right?
Well, yes, we've had some things, and Carolyn was very generous with her time in helping me figure out my microphone. So anyway, let me introduce myself. My name is Lisa Meisels. I'm an online visibility and impact strategist, and I help women entrepreneurs and change makers really get visible online. And I have lots of fun things going on in my group, but what I want to focus on today is Carolyn, because Carolyn's going to be talking about something I know everybody wants to know more about. I want to know more about, so I'm really excited she's here. So let me just tell you a little bit about Carolyn. Carolyn Cole is a show host of the global Boomtank Business Show podcast. I love that name, by the way. And this is for sharp female entrepreneurs and cool guys who support them. For nearly 2 decades, she was a Fortune 100 and Fortune 200 senior corporate trial attorney. Now she makes the case on behalf of others' businesses and careers dreams, and for happiness too. She offers global business consulting and coaching for executives, teams, entrepreneurs, and business owners. She's also an organizational development coach, business strategist, entrepreneur, live streamer, speaker, and certified professional coach. She believes the more women that there are speaking their messages out there confidently and pouring from full cups, the more people, the more emotional tenor of the planet, the more we can change, which she believes, and I believe too, is desperately needed. So welcome, Carolyn. Thank you so much for being here and for your flexibility.
Thank you. Total honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So what I want to know, okay, we learned a little bit about you being a trial lawyer and being in the work corporate environment, but what really brought you to where you are today?
A love of business, and I also wanted to do exactly what I wanted to do with my life, use all the gifts I had inside me, all the vision, all the creativity, everything before I died. And I climbed all the mountains I was going to climb in law. I'd always been called to business. Part of my practice was business law. It was working with large, you would know the names, large national brands. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to get to those dreams because business is a passion, as is personal development.
Yeah.
So, living the dream.
Awesome. Yeah. And so did you create your own structure of have you been expanding and just like growing, and or how does it work for you?
It works for me. Before I left, I knew what I wanted to do. I didn't know the full scope of it, but I knew it. And the thing that I knew, I picked my name. I had my domain. I actually had the domain for 2 years before I left corporate America. Wow. And started my business. And I had already zoomed in on it, pretty much what it was going to be. I always knew I was going to have a podcast for sharp female entrepreneurs and the cool guys who support them. That I always knew that. And then it was a question from there of just tracking more into the business and developing business. And that's what I did. And it is an evolution. It's still an evolution. And I still add things to my packages as my business up levels. And that's just what you do in business. You find a piece of it that you do incredibly well. And then you find another piece of it that you do incredibly well until you now have this library going forward with your business. So that's how that formed.
That's awesome. That's amazing. So let's talk about online PR. That's your specialty. I mean, you're a business strategist, but this is something that you wanted to talk about on this show. And I know that this is something that the listeners are going to be really excited to learn about. So tell us a little bit about that. And then you had a tip or a strategy that's going to get somebody to the next level in their business if they implement it. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. The thing is that I do online PR, but and offline as well, but that's not the bulk of everything that I do. Here's why. Two things were happening here. I had business clients coming in, right? And would work on the business piece, but they had no PR. They didn't have the confident visibility, and visibility is the lifeblood of your business. Conversely, I had people coming to me saying, I'm ready to get visible. I want to do all these things. I'm like, but where's your business? Where's your message? Where's your messaging? So I found myself having to do a comprehensive package to do justice to them, because I had people who were ready to get visible without clear messaging around their business packages. And then I had I had people coming to with the business piece of it who it just wasn't all fitting together. So I do both. I don't separate them out. If you want to come to me for online PR, you certainly can. I certainly help with that, right? But it's the whole business piece that goes with it. It just kind of all blends together. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, completely. Because you can't have one without the other, because then you're not successful. You're either flailing because you don't have the business in order, or yeah.
Let's talk about that, because what's happening in the online space, especially, is there's a Frankensteining of business. And this is so important, especially for people who are so wedded to Facebook land, which is rapidly changing, which could be, honestly, the best thing that ever happens to you and your business, right? That all changes. The thing is that when you Frankenstein your business and you go buy bits and pieces and you start building your monster, right? My email funnels, and I'm going to do this over here, and I'm going to do content creation, and this is the latest Instagram strategy. You're Frankensteining it. What you really need is an actual business that you can promote, and you need to be out there promoting your business. You can build the best business in the world, but if people do not know you exist and they don't know about you and what you offer and how you can help, you're going nowhere. And if you jump out of a plane and you say, here I am live streaming in a kamikaze fashion, just kind of winging it with nothing behind you, that is exactly what's going to happen to you. And you're going to go splat, because you have nothing there that will hold you up. You have to have real business offerings at a competitive price so you can stay in business and make a living and scale and deliver crazy great value. So as you said this so well, Lisa, people will come find you and they will want to work with you. And if you go to somebody and they're strictly a business coach and they're not talking to you about visibility, that's a miss. If you're going to somebody who is talking to you just about visibility and getting seen and getting heard, but not about your business, about your messaging, and if that works, that's a miss, because people may draw people in, but once they get there, they're like, it's an empty house. You have to have a full house where they're like, I understand how this is furnished and set up and where I belong in it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so important. And what I wanted to ask you too is about your podcast show. Because this is one way that you merge your business with visibility. So maybe speak about that a little bit to people who don't have podcast shows.
Yeah, podcasting, it's really interesting, because podcasting in and of itself is not a revenue generator. That is, if I have a show, typically, you don't make your living off of the show, typically, right? It is a marketing arm like anything else. Like, it is a marketing arm like live streaming, like Twitter, like Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. It's a marketing arm. And you do not need to necessarily have massive download numbers each month to have your business gain profitability using it, right? You are laser targeted and you have great content. Do solo episodes. I'm a big advocate of that. If you have something to say, only if you have something to say, and showcase yourself as an expert, like for me, an expert in business, right? An expert in some other things. I can showcase that so people get to know me. I also bring on expert guests and I make it entertaining and fun. That draws clients to me. That draws customers to me. And they also get a working knowledge before we ever talk about what I'm really like, so they know who they're approaching and they know how I can help them. So I love the podcasting because it's another means of visibility. I do like live streaming, though. I have to tell you, I like people seeing your face. I like people showing up in full body and not hiding behind a mic. However, I think if you're shy, and it's a great step forward, either podcasting or podcast guesting. I like both of those platforms.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, my idea for this show is to actually turn the past episodes into podcasts when I start to podcast, so that I have a jumping off. So a lot of people are doing this visible video and turning it into audio to repurpose it. So I think there's like so many options out there to get visible. And the thing I like about video is that people can feel your energy. They can see you. They can kind of see your body language. And I'm a spaz. I do this all over the place. But you get to kind of it's different than just audio. So both are good mediums, and they both have their place, I think.
They do. The thing is to step back, and you and I talked about this in the pre-chat, is before you go to that level of visibility, have something meaningful to say. Be a professional, right? Offer something professional for people to respond to and to show up for. And a lot of people think, okay, I just need to get visible. I just need to turn things on. No, you need to get your business straight first, right? Yeah. You figure out what you're selling, what the pricing is, how you're really going to help people, and then your messaging around it. Then get visible. And if you find you're stuck, get professional help, right? Don't delay. I'm not saying delay. And I'm telling you, if you have a great business idea, shape it, form it, get it out, but get it out professionally, telling people about the value that you will bring to them, and try it. Right. But for people just to say, I'm going to just get visible, that it doesn't do you the service you need. You need to back up and create the business first, the packages priced the right way, the value, and your messaging, who you are, really why you're the person to help, why this is the package for them, then go talk about it.
Yeah. I think, that I call it like the foundation, creating a solid foundation for your business. You've got to have the messaging. You've got to know who your people are. You need to know what they want. You need to know how how they're going to connect with it, how they want to hear about it. And if you don't have those things in place, you're not going to attract people. People aren't going to see you. You will stay hidden. And so
it's unnecessary, and it's going to make you very sad, right? Because you're going to say, well, I'm doing what people tell me to do.
I'm doing all the right things. Yeah.
Okay, except for the primary thing, which is back up and actually go into business. And let me talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, please.
Business is not launching. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's not one launch after. It's not that. Go into business. Go into business with a stable of products that you offer, that you have priced, that you are selling, that go into that. But this thing about launch modes, and especially for women, it drives me insane online. Now, offline, I deal with a lot of pros, and we don't have these issues. It's the Facebook bubble thing that's been created. It's this thing of, I have to do free challenges. Stop that. Really stop it. Stop the free challenges. You first off, you're advertising free. So what are people going to think about your free? Okay. The reality is, if we had true statistics, raw numbers on challenges and how well they really work, the reality is they don't. Yeah, you might build an email list, but have you built the ideal list of paying customers, not people who showed up for the free? Right. So, and what you're basically doing is saying, you're discounting yourself. You're basically saying, not sure that I have people that I can attract, so I'm trying to attract you in, that kind of thing. Now, if you're Lewis Howes and you're doing a free challenge and you're building it, that's different, because his messaging is so incredibly clear, and he's attracting people he knows he can get into a program and help them. I understand that, right? But for the basic people starting, stop with the free stuff. Stop with the stuff. It's a 7-day free this. It's insane, because by and large, those things do not work. They can work depending, though. And let me qualify that. For the vast amount of service providers, they don't work because it's too soft. But if you're in something concrete like nutrition, right, and you say, we're going to have 5 days of incredible smoothies and greenies to help with your health, I think that will be a sellout, right? Mm-hmm. Have people show up for a 5-day challenge about building your Instagram following or building your LinkedIn presence, people will show for that because it's very concrete. Okay, totally good with that. But if you are in the soft services, selling the service, it's going to be very hard to get people to A, stay for the whole thing, and B, be with you actively after. It's a myth that works, because it doesn't.
Yeah. And the point about building the right community, if you're building an email list, you want people that are potential buyers, right? Of course, that we're building a business. So having a lot of free information just for the sake of it will build that kind of an email list.
It's the whole thing about a fit, a match. right? You as a business person are trying to find your fit. Like, who do I match with? The people out there looking for help are trying to say, who can fit my needs? Who do I match with? It's, we forget that the internet has not been around that long at all. And if we go back 30 years before that, from the beginning of time to that point, how was business conducted?
Yeah.
It was like business. And if you go back to those principles and fundamentals, then you have your business. So stop letting these like Facebook lives and all this world distort what are real business principles, because think about all the big business. Look around your house at everything you've purchased in the past week, from food to cleaning products to clothing, whatever it is. That was created out there. It was created offline. Those are businesses, and you need to adapt and adopt that, right? Really be cognizant of what's fantasy and what's real. And at the end of the day, business is always going to be what it's going to be, which is, I have something someone needs, and they come to me and they buy it. And the email list is the beautiful place where people, especially these days, have made an election to say, I'm interested, I want to follow more. So, maybe they're not buyers now, maybe they'll never be buyers, but at least if they're interested and they're supporting the work and you're gelling with them, yes, it's a win-win for both of you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like what you say. And business fundamental. And speaking of offline, you have to have both online and offline presence. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And women, especially, before we get off, because I know we don't have a lot of time, is, watch your pricing. Stop discounting yourself, your value, your self-esteem. Stop building your businesses in a Dixie cup so incredibly small that it will take you forever to grow to something meaningful. Stop undervaluing yourself. Stop living in the fantasy of unicorns and, upside downpreneurs and rightpreneurs and I'm a happypreneur and a jumppreneur. Stop all of that nonsense, right? Really, stop it. Just get into really your full self, your powerful state. And the stuff where people talk about vulnerability, of course, but if you really watch Brene Brown's video on TED Talks about vulnerability, she's talking about it from a different vantage point. She's talking about it when you go into a relationship, going into it full-hearted without the risk of being hurt. It's taking a job knowing maybe you might get fired for it. It has nothing to do with showing up every day and crying and creating drama and saying bad things about yourself and celebrating your weaknesses. You see, that's the downside of that message, is that women have interpreted, only heard one thing, be vulnerable. They haven't heard the counter messages. Yes, be authentic, be yourself. Okay. That does help. And that is warranted to be yourself. But being yourself also means not just showing your weaknesses and your bad moments and your meltdowns. It means celebrating your strengths. It means going to your greatness and not apologizing for it. It means not playing small. It means fully showing up as the full human being you are, and stop making yourself small to make other people big. Because playing small only makes you small. It will never make the other person big, no matter how much you think that's true. It will not. That is their journey. They need to be big on their own. And when you see other women successfully doing things, support them. Okay. Don't be jealous of them. Don't ignore them, because I've said this before. You get a paper cut on something like Facebook and 1,000 women come out of the woodwork wanting to help you. You're a New York Times bestseller and it's crickets. Stop that.
Thank you so much. I love that. No, it's true. It's so true.
And you know what? And they're so unhappy because they know they can be more and they want to give more. But you know what? You will never serve and have a business from a Dixie cup. It's not happening in there. It's not going to happen there. Nobody ever told you when you were born, at least they shouldn't, that because you're a woman, you can't get out there and make a great income and make an impact on the planet. That is myth if you hear that otherwise. Or if they say that's bragging, it's not bragging. Men do it, women do it. It's not men are born with this right to successful businesses and born with the right to say, I had a really great business week. That's not a born thing. That's a learned training thing. So understand, as a woman, you are not limited. Bring your full self to the table in your business and your life without apology. And you can still be your feminine self and your loving self, your caring self, but show up strong. This thing about this vulnerability, about showing up and showing all your weaknesses. Well, if you're going to do that, give your strengths equal airtime at a minimum. At least tell people there's another side of you that does rocket things, and share that without apology.
Yes. And don't go live and air your dirty stuff, your muck, your mess while you're in it. Don't do
Danielle
that.
Laporte says, do not share the mess. Wait. And this is what she said 2 years ago. And I don't catch a whole lot of live streams. I don't have time. And a whole lot of webinars. I don't have time. But 2 years ago, I did catch a live stream she had. I don't know what the circumstances. I can't remember. But I remember she said two things. And she talked about a she-eagle. I don't know how she knew it was a she. Probably because it was a larger bird. The male eagles are actually smaller than the females. And she said the she-eagle landed on a branch and made no apology to the tree or the branch or the wind and said, oh, I'm so big. I'm sorry. I hope I'm not hurting you. Is it okay if I land here? She didn't ask for permission. She was just an eagle and she landed. So she said, go be your big eagle self. I love that. The other thing she said was, what is with all these women online, like you just said, Lisa, making, crying and the mess and everything out in the open? She said, don't do that. She said, listen, when I'm going through something, I have learned this very valuable lesson. And look at where she is, because I will tell you, 4 years ago, she streamed and said, don't ever quit your day job. She almost walked on her career. Okay. She hung in and look where she is today, but she was that close to going in the other direction and leaving it. So that's another talk for another day about persevere and hang in. And she learned not to share the mess. She said, because all you're doing is bringing people and drama into the mess and creating more mess. She said, the mess is not what's useful to people. Right. That's it. That vulnerability mess, that's not useful. What's useful to people is how sharing the mess later with the message about how you got through it, how it changed you, the benefit of it, the curse of it, those things. Share the message, not the mess.
Yes. Oh, amen. That's perfect. Okay. So what exciting things do you have coming up that you want to share?
Aren't you so sweet? I don't know if I don't want this to be pitching, but I don't know how else to say it without pitching. So I won't. If you'd rather not. I mean, my exciting signature programs, right? Okay. Can I tell people where to find me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. You can find me on boomtank.com. And what's kind of cool about that is I just released free audio training. And it's very simple. What I have are 2 free audio downloads. One, and it's fairly short, it's under 10 minutes. It's the top 10 life and business lessons from some of my guests on my show, the Boomtank Business Show, right? The other one is a success meditation, which is really cool. So if you go to boomtank.com and download it, it doesn't take any time to get through both. They're a lot of fun. And I have my 4 signature programs that I talked to you about. Are you okay if I mention those? Totally up to you.
Yes.
So
go for it.
Winning in business, and that is for struggling business owners and entrepreneurs seeking to get to that next level with confident visibility and correctly priced business offerings that are developed, all of that, like real business offerings going out there. The other one is Life Redesign with Business in Mind for busy professionals seeking to start their own business. The third one is Life Redesign with Happiness in Mind for busy professionals and executives seeking a happiness reboot. And the fourth one is Claiming Your Expert Celebrity, not vanity celebrity, but expert celebrity. And that is for professionals and executives, entrepreneurs, and business owners seeking to get confidently visible and get their message out there in a coherent manner. That last program is included in my 3 former signature programs that I mentioned, or you can purchase it as a standalone if you wish. So those are the things I have right now. And I love my show. I love what's happening. I love the work that you're doing. I'd love to talk to you more about that. I think it's really cool. And I can't wait to see your next level.
Yes. Well, I'm excited, and I would love to talk to you. And I love your offerings, and I want everybody to notice how clear and concise the messages are, how clear and concise the titles are. They speak the results, so you know what you're getting, and that's really key in being clear in what you're offering. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and all of your wisdom that you shared. I just love everything that you shared. It's perfect. And I think people are going to be getting a lot of value out of it. So if you're watching this show, like my page, give us some hearts, give us a funny GIF or something, or better yet, comment. Let us know what you think, what came up for you. What were the aha moments that came out, and what questions do you have for Carolyn or me? So put those in the comments and we'll be sure to get back to you. And thank you so much, Carolyn, again. And don't go away. I'm going to say au revoir, goodbye to everybody else, and we'll be right back. So I will see you all next week on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time with our next guest, and again Friday next week at noon Pacific time, weekly for the expert interview series. So we'll see you then. Talk to you later. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Episode. I'm going to share and promote episode for you, and I encourage everyone to promote Lisa. Like her page, promote it, start sharing this. Let's start promoting each other. Right? Yes. Well done, Lisa. Great show. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so